This video contains subject matter that may be offensive and disturbing to some people. If you are the type to require a warning throughout a video or show, let this message serve as your warning. This channel discusses the harsh reality of true crime. If this warning is not sufficient for you, consider a different genre and unsubscribe from my channel immediately. Spam is awesome. Yeah, it's so good. If you cut it out of you take it out of the can. You don't need to know what it is, okay? That's the downfall of everybody. People all want to know what's in spam. Who cares what's in spam? Does anybody give a damn what's in a hot dog? No, you don't care what's in a hot dog. So the thing is, spam. You take it out, and then you cut these slices, you heat it up, and man, that's some good stuff with some eggs, and oh yeah, right? It's the people who give a damn what's in it. That's who has a problem with it. Yeah. Hey, I was able to get this KML file to upload to Google Earth, and it has all the counties again. Remember how the counties disappeared, but other people were complaining, and then there's this there's a lot of geographical things that are out there, KML files that you can upload to Google Earth. And I don't know if you guys saw it, but I did I found the railroad tracks in the case that we were discussing last night. In the case, right? It was the Sherry case. And so if we go over there, and then I was looking at Google Earth, the 1988 version of it, and you could see right on the end over here what looks like it was an old railroad track right here. See that? Oh wait, you can't see it. There we go. Hey, I caught myself almost in time. See, right over here, there's this what looks like a railroad track, and it makes sense because here's the Town Hall Road, and remember her body was found sort of off of Town Hall Road, and then in a easement or something of the railroad. Yeah. So the thing is and then Dan Carr sent me a topographical map, and this is exactly the right place right here. He was thinking that maybe up in this area, in a gully, because you've got the road here, and then the railroad tracks, they continued on like this. But I think it's actually right in this area right here. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell, but there's this place right here. Now let me put the so this is, if you look at it, if I blink it on and off, you can see that's the overhead map. Look how perfectly lined up everything is. Slightly different in some spots, but so you go on and on and on and on. So everything's pretty close. And here's the railroad tracks. And I think that he was thinking, well, I don't even see where his map is anymore. But I think it was more right around in this area right here is where her body was found, because there was a creek in that area. So here's the railroad tracks, and they continue on, the old ones do. Probably even up into here. And then here's Town Hall Road. And then I think that was the creek right there. this little creek right there, and if you go down to Street View and turn around, you can actually still see this little creek here with a culvert that goes around, and I'm thinking that's what that was. And there was a little bit of a gully back in the day right there, because on a map you could actually see that there's a yeah, so I guess it's a little further up right there. That's where I meant to put it. So let me put the overlay back on again. Yeah, there it is. See, this is where I was looking right here. See, there's this creek, and then it looks like a gully the way they have that shaped right there. He was thinking maybe up in this area over here. But I'm going to go with this one right there. Alright, so there you go. At least we got to the... found all the pertinent information from back then. It really sucked how much it's changed, though. I mean, if you just go right there and click through the years, just watch all these changes. One, ding, ding, and right, just look in this area right here. Yeah, now there's a building there. And by the time you're done, I mean, there's just nothing looks the same over here. It's completely different. And well, hold on, let me see. Yeah, it's interesting too, because that little thing, that little line of trees right there, and this, I mean, it almost seems like if you went right here, you could see the old railroad tracks. If you were right there, it should be right inside those, in these trees right there were railroad tracks at one point, because they're right on that same exact line right there. They just grew, probably took the tracks out, planted some trees, and called it a day. Yep. Alright, well, obviously it looks like the notifications didn't go out again. It's gonna be another struggle. Either that, or we've got another drama show going on. And I've noticed those are way more important. Even if they're the anti-drama show, they're still drama. It's like talking about the drama is drama, right? So it's just more interesting for people, sadly. All right, here we go. Let me go to the... we'll just get started on the case. But right now we've got 6 days left in the month, and hopefully we can keep up the same pace so that we can donate another $2,000 to $2,500. We've already done 1,000 so far this month. Tonight's show, so far, we've raised 0% of a normal night. Oh yeah, you didn't get a notification. See, there you go. That's exactly right. All right, so this is kind of this is going to be a long one. Like this might actually it shows you the vast difference in coverage of the two cases, though, as we were discussing how frustrated the parents were. Nah, I don't think that's what it is, because like even last night there's 200 and 220 and usually there's 300 something. It's just there's a lot of drama going on, a lot of channels. And it's just way more interesting to keep talking about the Summerwells drama people for decades. I mean, it never ends. Hey, thank you, Plato. Oh, well, you found it somehow. Yeah, if you're not getting notifications, you should hit the unsubscribe and then subscribe again. Hit the notification bell and all videos. That's what you should do. And I think it's, let's see. So right down at the bottom, you can see it. Hit the subscribe. All. Boom. See? And then you get the little bell that looks like that. I have that turned off because somebody said that they got, like, it made their brain hurt when they kept seeing that subscribe going. Oh yeah? Yeah, well it's true. West Coast is 5 o'clock. That's why I don't really do shows at 6, but you always get people complaining no matter what time you do a show, so I don't even know what the sweet spot is, you know. It's like, what do you do it at 3 o'clock in the afternoon? Sometimes when I do a show at 11, I got more, in the morning I get more people. Don't really know. No idea. Okay, so this one, it's pretty long. I mean, let me just show you over here. look at that. I mean, it's just like a ton. Took me almost the whole day to do this, get them all together. And there was, I could even thrown more in there, but. So, you know, I looked up her name. So this is Ann Louise, I think it's Harmeier, or Harmeier probably. So I'd say, I actually think it's Ann Louise Harmeier. And she was 20 years old, and this was one of the ones that was mentioned last night that could be associated with that killer named Bauer. And it was also unsolved, so I thought I'd look it up. And then I looked just her name up, and then I saw that, and she was actually in the paper in 1974. So this happened. She went missing on September 12th, 1977. And this is September 25th, 1974. And she, let's see, so Rhonda Richards left of 2973 Canal Days Queen, or I don't know, maybe it says 1973 Canal Days Queen. Presents Miss Ann Harmeier with a dozen long-stemmed red roses significant of her being named the 1974 Whitewater Canal Days Queen. Miss Harmeier was crowned Saturday night during a coronation ball at Parkway Gym, winning over 16 other contestants. And she was really like a brilliant person. And I have a clear image of that, so here's what that actually looked like. Right here, this lady, our girl here, was the year before, and I was handing over the roses to her. All right. And let me get to the next one. Then there was another. One thing I thought was interesting. And the reason I found this originally, because I typed in 1977 to start, not even thinking that she would be in the paper prior. Most people aren't in the newspaper. But I thought this was interesting that on September 12th, 1977, and it says entry deadline for the 1977 Whitewater Canal Days Queen Contest and Princess Contest this Saturday, September 10th and 12th. And it says Mrs. Henry urged that all organizations and firms desiring a sponsor a queen, something that it says previous queens include Rhonda Richards and Ann Harmeier right there in 1974. And yeah, you know, I was sort of wondering if it was possible that a killer looked at her name, saw her and figured out where she lived and followed her around, because you know she was a queen of a pageant, and maybe saw the name and thought, well gosh, you know, and looked for her, found her, and tracked her down. Because this is only 2 weeks before she went missing that her name just randomly came up in a newspaper article after winning the contest in 74. Hey, thanks, Patricia Cross. Actually, she went missing just a week after that article. Don't you think that's a little weird? That her name shows up in an article and then 5 to 7 days later she's gone missing. Alright, so it says 2 counties search for missing co-eds. Search parties today continue to comb Morgan and Monroe counties in search of an Indiana University co-ed who disappeared Monday. A day-long search of an area north of Martinsville yesterday failed to yield any clues in the disappearance of Ann Louise Harmeier, 20. State police, using a helicopter, joined sheriff deputies from Morgan and Monroe counties yesterday in the search. The Indiana University junior was reported missing when she failed to arrive on the Indiana University campus Monday night after leaving Cambridge City earlier in the day following a weekend trip home. Her abandoned car was found about 2 miles north of Martinsville along Indiana 37. So, let me get to this one. Yeah, so I think her car was found right around in this area here on this highway. And actually, she lives here. This is her home right here in Cambridge City. Let me get the map better there. And she lived in that house right there, probably with her parents, and she was going to Indiana University at the time. So that house is the same house, I would imagine. That looks like something built in 1950-ish. And so if that's her house, and then apparently she was driving from her house all the way down to... See, at first it was confusing because I thought that, she was Indiana University, the main campus. But it's actually... And then I looked up other campuses and I saw this one, and that one made sense. And then I saw an article, but that's where it was. Bloomington campus right here. And so that would be a route that you would take from here, and then you'd be on Highway 37 going down. So her car was likely facing this direction on the highway on the opposite side. So something like this. Yeah, probably right around, close to this area here. And there's actually a picture of the car. This one right here. This newspaper article has the picture of the vehicle there. That's her car on the side of the road. Apparently it had some engine damage. Or not engine, but like maybe it overheated, something like that. Alright, her abandoned car was found about 2 miles north of Martinsville along Indiana 37. State police said the vehicle was locked with its flashers operating. Investigators said it appeared Miss Harmeier left her 1971 Pontiac Le Mans because it was overheating. The missing co-ed was described as about 5 feet 5 and 100 pounds with light blonde hair and brown eyes. State police investigators impounded the car and took fingerprints but have no leads. There was no indication of foul play at the scene where the car was found. It is speculated that Miss Harmeier may have been abducted by a passing motorist. State police at the Bloomington Post indicated the helicopter was of limited value because the heavily wooded character of the area, particularly in the vicinity of the Morgan-Monroe State Forest. All right. Police said Thursday night a day-long search of an area north of the city failed to turn up any clues, and that's Martinsville. Indiana State Police, using helicopters, joined authorities from Morgan and Monroe counties Tuesday in the search for Ann Louise Harmeier, sorry about that, a 20-year-old junior from Cambridge City. Her car was found abandoned about 2 miles north of Martinsville. Police said it appeared Miss Harmeier left the older model car because it was overheating. So maybe they were able to determine what the problem was. And there's a picture of her right there. No clues yet in disappearance of Cambridge City, Indiana University co-ed. Authorities continue their search Wednesday for Ann Louise Harmeier, 20, a junior at Indiana University. Miss Harmeier, daughter of Mrs. Marjorie Harmeier of 306 Hawkins Avenue, that's that house I showed you, was reported missing when she failed to return to the Indiana University Bloomington campus Monday night after having left home earlier in the day. She also had not reported for work with a stage crew at a rehearsal of a play on the Bloomington campus Monday night. Mrs. Harmeier and the Reverend Rose Tall of the Presbyterian Church at Cambridge City, a close friend of the family, traveled to Bloomington in search of the co-ed Monday. Let's see. Indiana State Police from Bloomington and Putnamville Post launched a land and air search. Miss Harmeier, a 1974 graduate of Lincoln High School in Cambridge City, is described as 5 feet 5 and weighing 100 pounds. And I think I actually have an image like in, when you remember the yearbooks you used to get in grade school and high school, and you'd write notes to people? Apparently this is one of her notes right here. It says, "Cindy, you're a really neat person, and I'm so glad to be your friend. You'll go far in life with your intelligence and personality. Keep smiling and the world will smile back. Remember all the fun times we've had. Be good and good luck." And then it says, "Seniors of 1975, love Ann." So it's a very intelligent kid. Good writing too. My handwriting sucks compared to that. She's the type of person who would do anything to worry her mother. Would do anything. I think it's probably not to worry her mother. She and her mother have a very close relationship, and she's a very level-headed and mature girl. It's very unlikely she would take off for somewhere on her own. Bus driver reports seeing missing co-ed with car trouble. Authorities Wednesday evening got their first break in the disappearance of Indiana University co-ed when a Greyhound bus driver reported he saw the young woman the morning she failed to return to IU campus. The new information came as State Police Superintendent John T. Shettle, that's now the Doug Carter's position, assigned 7 troopers to assist in the case and reiterated an appeal to the public. State police here said they were seeking as much information as possible from the bus driver who was making a run to Evansville Monday morning and saw a young girl with car trouble along Indiana 37 north of Martinsville. State police said the bus driver told them he saw a young woman wearing a red shirt standing beside her car. The hood was on the car. The car later was found with the emergency lights flashing. The bus driver said that as he passed the woman, he noticed another car pulling in and stopping behind the woman's car. So maybe he saw the actual car pull up. Who knows? According to relatives, Miss Harmeier was wearing a red t-shirt with the word Indiana in white letters on it, blue jeans, and Adidas tennis shoes. State police said it would have been logical for her to have proceeded south towards Martinsville for help. However, there have been no reports from anyone at Martinsville who has seen her, investigators said. Yeah, so she's just heading, the car broke down, and then she's heading south, but she's just disappeared. And apparently she had actual car trouble. It's not some sort of fake instance. That's exactly where she'd be driving. It's not like maybe in the Crystal Rogers case, how there's a fake flat tire, etc. Emotional blow strikes friends of missing Cambridge woman. It's not a pleasant or easy story to write because the subject matter affects a family I have known and respected for many years. And it has stabbed the heart of a community I've loved. The strange disappearance, sometime Monday, of Ann Louise Harmeier, 20, Indiana University junior and Cambridge City resident, has dealt a blow to the common emotions of this western Wayne County community. Prayers were offered Wednesday night for Ann at the Presbyterian church called for by Reverend Rose. The church was packed with concerned friends, neighbors, and town people, and out of those prayers came such comments as, "Citizens are in a state of shock. The whole town is involved in this." The media made the town really into it. This story was covered every single day with like 5 articles for 2 months, it seemed like. Let's see. I loved her. I never had a daughter, but someone like Ann would have been my choice. We read about such disappearances almost daily, but it always happened to someone else. Yeah. I keep asking why. Maybe another kind of girl, but certainly not Ann. Miss Eugene Defenderfer, friend of neighbor, said she was drained by the emotional shock. Such a dear and talented girl with her feet on the ground. It has stunned the whole town, but we're hoping and praying for something good. Miss Hadley Clark said she read her husband had known Ann since she grew up across the street from us. She's a lovely girl, and whatever had happened has been beyond her control. Stuart Shipman, retired superintendent of Western Wayne School, finds it hard to talk about. Ann is such a talented and responsible girl. This kind of thing is hard to take when it's in your own backyard, and her mother is such an excellent teacher and has done so much for music in our schools and community. Yeah, so they're going through a bunch of different people. It's just, she really was. She was like a 3.7, 4-point average, honor roll, really achieving a lot, winning awards and so forth, and then just poof, gone. Indiana State Police in Bloomington reported no new clues. So once they say there's no new clues in an article, you just shut it down and move on to the next one because there's nothing in that one. Right? Trucker. So this one says trucker who stopped to aid co-ed sought. But then later it turns out it's a pickup truck, and I don't really think you call them truckers. State police are still looking for a pickup truck driver. So that makes him a trucker who may have stopped to aid a missing Indiana University co-ed when her car stalled on the way to Bloomington. Ann Louise Harmeier, 20, Cambridge City, has been missing since Monday night. Let's see. Her car was discovered along Indiana 37, about 2 miles north of Martinsville. Investigators believe a man who was driving a Mercedes-Benz might have seen a pickup truck parked behind Miss Harmeier's car. The driver, whose Citizens Band radio handle is Little Diesel, had been questioned, police said. That's kind of how'd they know that? A Morgan County Sheriff's deputy told state police he was in CB radio contact with Little Diesel when he was near the area Monday. Oh, interesting. Okay. Investigators have received unconfirmed reports by telephone that at least one vehicle that stopped behind Miss Harmeier's car may have been a blue pickup with a camper on top of it. If it had said red pickup with a camper, that would have been a little too weird. Investigators also questioned an Anderson truck driver whose handle is Little Diesel. However, it was learned he passed through the area Tuesday night instead of Monday. Let's see. Ann Louise Harmeier, 20, Cambridge, has been missing since Monday. Investigators believe a man who was driving a Mercedes-Benz might have seen her. I think it's real similar to the last one. So we'll move on to the next one. And here's again, another picture in the paper. The search continues for Ann Harmeier, a missing Indiana University student from Cambridge City, as several thousand of these posters were to leave her hometown early Saturday morning, bound for bars, restaurants, and business establishments in the central and southern parts of Indiana. Sergeant Ernie Alder of the Indiana State Police said he hoped the posters might help smoke out some information leading to the whereabouts of Miss Harmeier, who disappeared Monday morning after her auto broke down along this stretch of Indiana 37. Hello, Chloe. And I guess this was the flyer. I mean, this is like an old missing persons poster from 1977. Miss Harmeier left Cambridge City, Indiana at 8:15 a.m. Monday, September 12, 1977, en route to Indiana University in Bloomington, though, not just the main campus. She was last seen at about 10 a.m. outside her car, a beige, over rust-color Pontiac Le Mans, approximately 2 miles north of Martinsville on State Road 37. So this article, this thing here, this wanted post said she's 120, 5'5". I think that makes more sense. She was wearing a red T-shirt with the word Indiana on it. And that's about it. That's worthy on that one at this point. Then on the 18th, co-ed more than just a missing person. So maybe we can do the victimology on one of these. Let's see. Ann Harmeier told her mother when she left her Cambridge City home Monday morning that she was going to stop at McDonald's in Martinsville to have breakfast. Ann had to be in Bloomington by 10:30 a.m. to attend a stagecraft class at Indiana University. At 1:30 Tuesday morning, her abandoned car was found 2 miles north of Martinsville. She was last seen Monday morning standing beside her stalled, rust-colored Pontiac Le Mans, police say. The details of this case are incomplete. When Ann failed to call home Monday evening, her mother and a friend decided to drive to Bloomington, retracing what they believed to be Ann's route. They found her abandoned car, the warning lights flashing, and the doors locked. Man, you'd think a police car would have driven by that at least one time and saw it and called it in. It was later determined that the radiator was out of water and the engine had overheated. Scores of law enforcement officers, bolstered by 7 state police detectives assigned full-time to the case, haven't found her yet, although they sifted through dozens of tips. Roughly 80 residents of the eastern Indiana city plan to pass out 1,000 of the posters before heading back to wait for calls they hope will come in. In high school, Ann was practically a straight A student. She graduated in the top 1% of her class and was active in school organized programs. She was also a member of the National Honor Society and a participant in student government. Hey, thanks, Cindy Lynn. I was wondering if that button even worked anymore. See, it's these kind of cases that don't excite people very much. I don't know what the deal is, but thank you, Cindy Lynn. Yeah. I mean, you know what the weirdest part is these cases take the most amount of time. I mean, literally since 10 in the morning till about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, just getting all the stuff. And people aren't as interested in them. But when you do the ones that are really sensationalistic and, got a lot of new stuff, everybody gets really excited. And there are more super chats and it's weird. I don't know why it has to be like that. And I don't want to have to think about like what I'm going to be covering in terms of the excitement level. It should just be whatever it is, Let's see. Her music talent was put to good use during her senior year when she performed in the high school production of South Pacific. During the summer in high school, she worked in order to save money to go to college. For the past several summers, she had acted with the Nettle Creek Theater group in Cambridge. Sounds like she was, a really talented person. Ann's mother, Marjorie Harmeier, teaches elementary music in the Cambridge City school system. Her love of music and singing influenced Ann's career decision. When she first enrolled at Indiana University in the fall of 1975, she committed to herself early to a theater and drama degree. She brought with her to college a concern for grades and an ability to participate in outside activities while going to school. Yeah. Michael said it usually takes about 2 years for a theater student to begin to rise to the top, and that Ann is just now beginning to reach that plateau. Other friends describe her a reliable, conscientious, and hard worker who always strove to do her best. And let's see. Ann joined the crew of the current IU theater production of The Fantastics 2 weeks ago. She is one of those types of persons that we have learned to depend on, Ferris said, and that nucleus of people is necessary in order to put productions on. Michael Godnick, a fellow student, directed last winter Indiana University Memorial Union production of Anything Goes, in which Ann played Mrs. Harcourt. He described Ann as a doer. She could play any character from conservative, motherly Mrs. Harcourt to the worm in the children's play Epiphany. Godnick saw Ann's acting career begin to blossom last winter during the production. That was when, he said, her self-confidence was established. The combination of voice and acting talent led to Ann's casting as Michelangelo last spring in the children's play Epiphany. Michelangelo, is an artistic Italian inchworm who constantly battles a gang of mice. Susan Hope, a graduate student in theater, cast and directed Ann in the part. It was a difficult part to play, she said. Ann had to move like an inchworm and sing at the same time. She had to be spontaneous and creative in establishing audience participation. She was good with getting kids to participate. It's pretty interesting. Normally I don't go do the victimology part of it, but in this one it's like she's, pretty much an extraordinary person, and then she just was driving to school, has a radiator problem, pulls over, and poof, gone. By all accounts, Ann is a private person in a sensitive, positive way, Godnick said. Her personal life is important to her, and the people who know her respect that. He added that not many people know Ann as a close friend, but she is well liked by fellow students. Godnick said she was always attractively but simply dressed. During a cast part last winter, she surprised everyone when she arrived all dolled up with a fantastic dress on and a broad-brimmed hat. Ann's attention to detail is illustrated by her request that she be excused from the Sunday evening dress rehearsal of the Fantastics. She told Ferris that she had some personal business at home, but that she would be back for Monday's production. Those of us who know Ann at first did not think it strange that she did not show for her 10:30 class. Michael said, and then he said, "We thought she had been detained longer than expected, however. It is not like Ann to miss 2 classes in a day. When she was not in class Monday afternoon, we began to get concerned." Let's see, where was I? Right there. Oh, and then this was interesting. It says, Ann Louise's disappearance was not one of a kind. It has been 2 years since 11-year-old Cheryl Ann Bullen disappeared while walking friends. Let's see. Walking friend's house where she spent the night. It's hard to read it because it's curved here. Spent the night to her own 1 mile away on Route 1. Loretta Bullen remembered the day of torture she and her husband James suffered before the remains of their daughter were found 8 months later. It was just awful, waiting and hoping. Ann Louise was returning to campus. Let me see. Hold on one second. Is this the Jenkins one? No, I don't see it in there. So Ann Louise was returning to campus from Cambridge City home when she apparently experienced car trouble 2 miles north of Martinsville. Her abandoned automobile was found with hazardous lights flashing, parked along the 4-lane highway some 18 miles south of where Cheryl Ann disappeared. Ann Louise's car was found by her mother, Marjorie, and the Harmeier family pastor and good friend and confidant to Ann Louise, Reverend Rose Tall. The girl had promised to call her friend on her arrival in Bloomington. When she reportedly failed to do so, the 2 women began tracing her route, discovered the parked car. Let's see. I thought there was another name in here. Is there a possibility that the 2 disappearances can be connected? So I guess there's another girl here that was missing. Let me see what happened to Cheryl Ann Bullen. I guess there's still no answer for that one. Might have to do that one. Yeah, and her body was found in 1976 in a rural area of Vigo County. That's in Indiana. Did I do Bullen? Let me look this one up. No, didn't. I'm gonna have to keep tabs of all these. So hold on, let me make a, I gotta add that to the list over here. And that one was Cheryl Ann Bullen. $1975. Like it. Got it. All right. Weird one. All right, let me get off of that and move on to the. Okay, we're only on the 19th, so she went missing on the 12th. Police report no clues in disappearance of co-ed. Good. Don't have to read it. Reward offered for help in locating missing co-ed. So now they're trying to get a reward in there. More than 5,000 flyers offering a reward for missing co-ed Ann Louise Harmeier have been distributed. Meanwhile, Indiana State Police report no new leads in the investigation. One lead last week turned out to be a dead end. They added, the bus driver who had been reported to have seen Miss Harmeier September 12th near her car, which was parked along Indiana 37 north of Martinsville, had not seen her after all. Yeah, because he probably checked out the timing of his bus route and it didn't work. Hold on a second. Ding 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 ding. All right. Let's see. So this is on the 21st. Cambridge City meeting tonight on missing co-ed. A meeting to discuss new direction in the search for Ann Louise Harmeier, who's been missing for more than a week, will begin at 7:30 p.m. Wednesday in the Lincoln High School cafeteria. So they're having meetings. I mean, this story like literally was. It took over all the news, you know, like literally just every single day there was an article on it. And she's missing. Finding Ann Harmeier, her friends search inward. You know, I don't know if we need to read about the inward search of her friends. Let's see. When something indispensable in your life is no longer there, that's where you go. And that's where you find Ann Harmeier now, and her friends, the ones back home and those here in Indiana University, over at the Alpha Gamma Delta House, and in the classrooms, the costume and prop shops. So basically what they're saying is, you know, she's missing, but you can feel comforted a little bit by hearing all the friends talk about her and you know, it kind of keeps her alive at the moment. And that's absolutely true. Missing student's family pleads for news of her. Relatives of missing Indiana University student Ann Louise Harmeier of Cambridge City issued a plea Friday for any information from the public which could help locate her alive or dead. At the same time, police compared the disappearance with that 2 years ago of 11-year-old Morgan County, a girl in Morgan County whose body later was found. That crime and others involving deaths and disappearances of women in the area remain unsolved. Let me read this part down here. Looks like quotes here. An aunt, Mrs. Vernon Strasser, RR5 Bloomfield, said the student's family is trying to remain optimistic. Hey, thank you, Cheyenne R. Appreciate it. That she will be found safe and well, but their fear was that she was kidnapped and murdered. So, if the worst is true and Ann is dead, we ask that the murderer call the state police and at least tell us where to find her. Ms. Strasser said. Hey, thanks, Jay Case. An energy boost from Jay Case. I was feeling like I must have been putting out some garbage here. Hey, thank you. Hey, we just did a case last night with, that's probably, not your real last name, but they have the last name of Case, believe it or not. Thank you.
I hope you're well, busy. You sound a bit
Thanks, Zoza.
Not J to C U and B F F R R E E A A K K S S S tonight. Hello all.
Yeah, a little bit melancholic. Yeah, that's what somebody else said the other day. I didn't sleep very good last night, so maybe that has something to do with it. Whenever my stomach's a little bit upset, I don't sleep very good. Hey, thanks Zozo and Cindy Leon and Kathy Frydenmaker. And Lee D, or Liver D, right?
Let's go freaks. Tidal freak wave, ocean wave, waving hand.
Yeah. Wow, you guys.
Ocean wave.
Thank you, Jeannie
wave,
and Tawny Lee,
wave.
TTJO Tracy, Your Gypsy. Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's a good one. There we go. There we go. We're about 45% of a normal night, just in that little bit of time. Good stuff. That was good. Sherlock Hemlock. Yeah, I think I went to bed too late. I was watching Ozark, you know, and it just seems like it's one of those shows you gotta watch the next one. And then my stomach was a little bit upset, and then it keeps you from sleeping, and you know how it goes. Thank you, Delva Johnson and Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howe of the cattle. Look at that, cattle mutilations and
Ocean
crop
wave,
circles.
Ocean wave, ocean wave.
Yeah, Ozark's good. But everybody, you guys should watch Yellowstone if you haven't watched it. And no, I don't work for Netflix. Okay.
Ocean wave, ocean wave.
Well, Ozark,
ocean wave.
Yellowstone's on Peacock. So. Yeah, Ozark's really good. Thank you, Lisa Holland. Yeah. See, I think that sort of, this statement here sort of tells you exactly what we talk about all the time. How horrible it is just to have somebody missing
Hi there, free
for a long
family.
time.
Riding the wave, ocean wave. Sleep better tonight.
Thanks, Courtney Robb. Yep, I'll definitely try to sleep better. I only slept like 6 hours and something. And not even well, so there you go. I'm really looking forward to getting that machine. I'm getting it on the 3rd. It's just going to be like, maybe it takes a little bit of getting used to or whatever, but kind of looking forward to it. Can't wait to see what it felt like to sleep again,
wave,
like the rest of you guys.
Flying saucer.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Linda Doyle. A case that nobody's ever heard of. That's why I'm going over it.
Thank you for being
Thank you,
brave
Ink
and
Twin 9. Yeah. Hey, Dana Dane, I saw that Emily Flotilla did something similar to your.
Ocean
Yeah, I'm getting one of
wave,
those.
Ocean wave,
J
ocean
case, a
wave.
CPAP. They did a study. It wasn't like I had severe apnea or anything, but I had like 20 something events a night where I wasn't breathing right, or an hour, I mean. And then it got down to 81 oxygen level for just a moment, and then was below 87 for 3 minutes during the night, which I guess, I mean, isn't horrendous for 3 minutes, but at the same time, who the hell wants to be anywhere near that, you know? I'm not sure what that means, Matthew. Not an N, whatever that means. But are you going over it? Not a N. You know, you need to write a little bit better English than that. No idea. Yeah, we just spent an entire hour on it, Matthew, and then 2 minutes not. So, are you going to be a dipshit troll, or just get the hell out of here? Okay, thanks. Yeah, she was doing something similar, pouring the paint on it. Yeah, see, it's all these idiots like Matthew Armitage up there that they just sort of randomly show up, and they weren't even watching. They just got here. They didn't see that we just went over 20-something articles already. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it was moderate, yep. Yeah, well, I'm kind of wondering if that's causing me a little bit of cardiac. You know, I already have like a little irregular beat anyways, so it's kind of like, I don't know. I want more oxygen. Okay? That's what I'm talking about. You got any more to say, Matthew? I was just waiting if you had any more, quick little quips or, really funny comments. Got anything else? Got about 5 seconds. If I don't hear something back, you'll be removed permanently. 5, 4, 3, 2. There we go. Oh, I see. There you go. Okay, dipshit. See you later. Look at what he said. Is that how you treat people? It's 2 a.m. here. I've just turned you on. Well, how about this, dumbass? Hey, look, I'm gonna unblock you. Okay? If you just turned it on, then why don't you assume something differently and wait a couple minutes before sounding like an absolute jackass on somebody else's channel? So don't do your dumbass, what do you call it? The passive-aggressive type response back. Hey, cheeky twat, is that how you treat people? Okay, so you mean above when you typed in, but you're going over it, and then you didn't, horrible English there, first of all. And then the next sentence was, not much talk about the case. Right, because we just spent 50 minutes talking about it, and for 5 minutes weren't talking about it. Okay, because there was a wave of super chats, and I was acknowledging all of them. And I didn't want to, I can't do the case when there's super chats coming in. Do you understand that? Okay, so why don't you be a better person, and when you show up to somebody doing a live stream, watch it for 15 or 20 minutes and see what the hell's going on. Or rewind it, because I do have rewind mode. You got to rewind it to the beginning of the show, and noticed that I started it right at the beginning and went up right to that point. Okay, but you didn't do that because you're a troll, right? That's the truth. And it's not going to work out for you well today because, like I said before, I didn't sleep very good. And people like you are ridiculous people. Oh, I see. There you go, Matthew. That's what it was all about. Okay, see you later. No, I'm somebody who, when they're sending in super chats in a wave, I'm going to acknowledge all of them. Yeah, you knew that person wasn't legitimate. Just an absolute whack job troll. All right, so this is the part right over here in this. Well, I guess you could say that the charities are money grabbers. Since we donate on this channel over 50% of the net income. Okay, hope that matters to you, Matthew. Probably not. Probably not. You probably steal money from your grandmother. Yeah. Let's see. Thanks, everybody. All right. Yeah, I can't wait to get some of that extra sleep in there, Jay. The first night I use it, I might actually be out of town. Or let's see. Yeah. I'll be out of town. All right, so this part right here, I think this part right here represents what we always talk about here. So she's saying, listen, if you've killed her and she's really dead, we ask that the murderer call the state police and at least tell us where to find her. If we just knew if she was dead or alive, and that would ease our uncertainty and this terrible trauma of not knowing what happened to her. See what I'm saying? It's even better to know that they're not alive than to have to deal with this crap right here. We try to hope she is all right, but it is hard not to imagine all sorts of terrible things. We just want to know she is not suffering or sick, is either well or at peace, the aunt said. As hard as it could be, we could accept death for Anne, if that has been God's plan, she said. I'm trying to see where I'm at here. Boom. Okay, yep. Just did that one. Alright, we're going to go to September 25th. Well, see you later, Jay. You caught me right during the one troll of the night. But thank you very much. Hey, what about that, the new Omicron stealth version that's out there? That's pretty crazy, huh? Apparently it's an Omicron variant that can't be detected with the take-home tests. Yeah. Oh, you think you... Yeah, maybe he did text the the wrong person again. That's funny. Oh, really? Awesome, Jay. That's what my dad said too. Can't wait. Nothing. I think at this point, since the vaccines are only just making you safer if you catch it, it should just be somebody's choice whether or not to be vaccinated, because it's going to spread around. And if they, you know, I guess one of the problems is it overwhelms the hospitals, but at the same time, you know, it's at a point now where it's just kind of, you know, at first when the vaccines actually kept you from catching it, it was a big deal. But now vaccines merely provide you antibodies, and if you've already got COVID, you have antibodies, and you should be considered. In fact, if you've recovered from Omicron, you're more protected than somebody that's boosted. Okay, so the thing is, if you've recovered from COVID, you should also be able to go and do other things that other people were doing, and you shouldn't be required to be vaccinated if you've recovered, except there should be a window, right? Like, so if you're vaccinated, if you've had COVID and then 3 or 4 months later you haven't had COVID again or been vaccinated, your antibodies are going to start dropping. So then there's a certain point where maybe you would need one if you wanted to stay safe, right? So there you go. Oh, there was another fake gray in there. Hey, make sure to get me that one too. I have this contact now that just puts these people out right away. Yeah, so somebody, Zozo or whatever, just send me that guy's account. Yeah, well, herd immunity is going to be happening real soon. They're actually saying in mid-February we could be just really dropping cases a lot. The death toll lags the case count by like 2 or 3 weeks. So it'll be 3 weeks after you start seeing the case count go down, you'll start seeing the death rate drop dramatically. Isn't it amazing? The stuff you can learn if you just give a shit. Thank you, Tamara. That's what they're saying. They're saying this is like the classic variant that ends a pandemic, and then we'll be into a stage where it'll be like the flu, where you really kind of need to get a shot or something every year if you want to be protected, because it's a dangerous virus, right? I don't know, however, though, if the prevailing variant is much like Omicron, it'll be a lot safer than if it was Delta that was the yearly, what do you call it? Virality? I don't know what the word is, but like Delta is more dangerous than Omicron. That's for damn sure. I mean, that thing was a nightmare. A lot of doctors, what they were talking about, they were looking at that one just going, this one's scary. And Omicron doesn't seem to have that same feel to it. Yep. And thanks so much. Yeah. Yeah. So this variant isn't as anywhere near as deadly as Delta was per case. That's what I'm thinking. So you might, because it's spreading so much more, apparently it's airborne. It's something that's not really out there, but apparently it's an airborne virus. So many people are catching it, and it just is what it is. It's spreading really fast. Yeah, it's like the flu. Yeah. Probably more like a cold if you've been boosted shot. Yeah, sorry about that, Tanya. That sucks. All right, I'm gonna get back to this though. So there's an editorial. Sometimes I like the editorials that are in the papers back then. Yeah, I think almost all of them do the smell and taste thing. I don't know if Omicron's like that, but all right, let me get back to this. I don't want to do a poll that asks that. I am, Cheyenne, it's right there. And with my L101 mug.
Hope you are enjoying your hot chocolate. Smiling face with hearts. Ocean wave.
Well, good. The lady is a tramp. I just want to see this one. It says prayers for Ann. This is an editorial here. Hey, I think you're hey Jay, you're texting in the wrong. Are you talking to me? Oh, okay, yeah. See you later, buddy. Jay's funny always. Unless every time he types like that, he's literally talking to somebody else, but he types it in here. Yeah, get some. A story of massive community concern has focused the attention of the Whitewater Valley on Cambridge City in western Wayne County, and developments there have dealt a blow to the cause of cynicism. In the wake of the disappearance of 20-year-old Ann Harmeier, Indiana University junior from Cambridge City, the community has demonstrated a love the cynical believe impossible. I don't know if that's correctly written there. The brief but bitter facts which ignited a crusade joined by the neighboring communities of East Germantown, Dublin, and Milton are these. Miss Harmeier left her home at about 8:15 a.m. Monday, September 12th. She last was seen standing near her disabled car about 2 miles north of Martinsville in the Indiana 37 on Indiana 37 at about 10 a.m. The same morning, she was on her way to Bloomington campus of the university. However, she was going to be stopping at McDonald's before that. The community collective heart has beaten sorrowfully all these days since September 12th, as the residents sadly ponder the two principal questions. What happened to Ann Harmeier? Where is she now? But that collective heart has beaten fiercely 2, dispelling the cynical belief that human conduct is motivated wholly by self-interest. Consider the following. Community volunteers have driven hundreds of miles to post posters bearing Miss Harmeier's photos and description in central and southern Indiana. These same volunteers and others have joined authorities as they assiduously search the rolling terrain in the Bloomington area. Cambridge City area residents have pledged in a few days several $1,000s to a search and reward fund. Their goal now is a nationwide campaign through network television and press service stories. More than 135 attended a meeting last week to set up strategy for that campaign. In Cambridge City, the heartbreaking mystery has stilled the customary small talk of grocery shoppers, and it casts a pall over last weekend's Whitewater Canal days. I bet you Living Abbey has a similar effect in Indiana. The residents also remember the years that Ann's mother, Marjorie, widowed when Ann was barely walking, has devoted to teaching the fundamentals of music to their children. As they remember Ann's father, Robert, and his mother battle again a brain tumor which claimed a career in law, Ann's late grandfather, Irvin L. Harmeier, long the postmaster, and her grandmother, a gentlewoman who still lives in Cambridge City. Meanwhile, the Whitewater Valley adds its prayers for the safe return of a young woman to her family and to the community, which has proven human conduct is not always motivated by self-interest. So what you're saying is altruism. You're believing in altruism. All right, let's see. And I don't know if they made this poster randomly. It's weird. This new full-color poster of Ann Harmeier, produced from a contemporary snapshot. Okay, so it's probably just an actual photo. It's not like a edited photo where she was placed in there. I mean, they could do that kind of stuff. Nah, not really easily at all back then, to be honest with you. So, this is just a regular photograph that they blew up. That's her right there. And, yeah. That's interesting that they have the area code. Don't you think? For 1977? We didn't even use area codes where I live for, like, I don't think they were used till maybe the 80s or something. Well, that's Oregon, though, you know. Okay, then the 27th. Documentary. Look at that. Documentary is planned. I mean, look how big this case was compared to the other one that we talked about yesterday. The case. A standing room only crowd filled the high school cafeteria here Monday night to discuss what can be done in the continuing search for missing Ann Harmeier. Yeah, so anyways, I'm not even going to go through this, but they're going to plan a 15 to 30 second segments can be expected to use on channels and spot announcements too. That's kind of what I was thinking they should have done with the Delphi case. Just keep playing that video and the audio of, hey guys, down the hill, over and over and over again. And everywhere. Search for Ann Harmeier to focus on Morgan County. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me check this out. So let me show you guys this thing here. So I downloaded the counties. See that little blue thing there? It says counties on it. Well, that's what's kind of cool, because now I think I can do Indiana. Yeah, like IN underscore. There we go. And they were saying that was in, let's see, where was that? Morgan County. So now I can just type in M-O-R, there it is, Indiana Morgan, and I can click just on that one, and then I like to minimize it because it takes up so huge. It has every county in the United States right there. And then there it is, I'm in Morgan County right there. See, that's Morgan County right there. And so that's where they're going to be searching. So go on to the next one. Then October 1st, backpackers, police plan forest search for missing co-ed. A group of 20 experienced hikers and backpackers, including Bloomington Sierra Club members and Indiana University policemen and cadet policemen, will search parts of the vast Morgan Monroe forest today and Sunday for missing Indiana University and co-ed Ann Louise Harmeier. The group will be led by George E. Huntington, director of the Indiana University campus. Meanwhile, a group of 6 residents of Cambridge City, Miss Harmeier's hometown, will be in Paducah, Kentucky. And they'll be there this weekend to solicit help from civic groups and churches. So anyways, every day there's just another story. They're trying to, everybody's still working on it. Police checking to find if Ann Harmeier was picked up by members of, now they're even going to the whole religious cult angle. That's when you're really starting to struggle. Although, as we've learned recently, that can actually be part of a case. But whenever you start going down that route, because there was one witness that said they saw her somewhere with like 6 people in a car, and so now they're going after the possible cult angle. Then on October 4th, Harmeier case moves into 4th week. Indiana State Police moved into their 4th week of investigation into the disappearance of an Indiana University co-ed, Ann Harmeier of Cambridge City, with little more results than they were able to report September 12th, the day she disappeared. So they haven't found anything. In the past 3 weeks, police have said they have tracked down hundreds of leads, most of them called in by people claiming they have seen a girl matching Miss Harmeier's description. Okay, then, there was articles almost every day, but I just started skipping some because they're Ann Harmeier's mother admits hope is waning. This is October 11th, so now we're a good month later. A month passed Monday since Indiana University co-ed Ann Louise Harmeier disappeared while returning to IU Bloomington campus, but friends and neighbors have not given up hope she's alive. Ann's mother, Marjorie Harmeier, a Cambridge City teacher, also says she has hopes her daughter has not met foul play. With each day, the hope lessens, said Mrs. Harmeier, who returned to her own classroom 2 weeks ago. The community has raised nearly $18,000 with the hope of turning up evidence of Ann's disappearance, she said. She said $13,000 of the money was for the reward fund, with the remainder in a search fund. Some search money, she said, had been used to purchase advertisements in newspapers and on television and radio station seeking information about the missing 20-year-old co-ed. A half-dozen billboards also will be erected at spots between Cambridge City and Bloomington. Yeah, so it's just sad, mom every day, just like, you kind of have to, like, almost for your sanity's sake, to resign to it and believe it. So these are the signs that were being put. Where is Ann? Help us. Residents of Cambridge City, aided by some Indiana University students, have erected billboards in the Bloomington area seeking information. Seems like they could have put her picture on there so people knew what that meant, Cambridge City, she disappeared several weeks ago while en route back to Bloomington. Her car was found abandoned on State Road 37 north of Bloomington. Okay, then on October 19th, 5 days later, missing woman found strangled. So after all those days, everybody in all these papers are working together, hoping and hoping and hoping. You know, so this is going to be similar, you know, like if they find Summer Wells not alive, it'll have a similar feeling on a lot of people, right? Because there's all these people that have put so much of their energy into it. Yeah. Make sure to send me that channel too right there, would you? I didn't type that in, obviously. So make sure to give me that link too, alright? Yeah, I've got trolls. There's a troll out there that creates like multiple accounts with my face on it, my name, everything. So make sure to send that in. Anyways, missing woman found strangled, decomposed body discovered on farm near Johnson County. The 36-day mystery over what happened to Ann Louise Harmeier virtually ended Tuesday afternoon in a cornfield a few miles west of Johnson County. The half-nude body of a woman found northeast of Martinsville was tentatively identified by Indiana State Police at the scene as Miss Harmeier, the Indiana University co-ed who disappeared 36 days earlier while driving back to campus. Investigators said the tentative identification was based on clothing, jewelry, and items found among the spilled contents of a purse recovered about 10 feet from the body. State Trooper Steve King stated the body was so badly decomposed that identification would have been impossible. You know what I bet? I bet you when her car pulled over, somebody said that they would just give her a ride so that she could make a phone call to somebody. And man, what a nightmare that turned into. Jeez. Authorities said the woman was strangled by a tourniquet fashioned from a shoestring and a hairbrush. So that means they made it was like a garrote. Well, not really, but they put the yeah, that's exactly right. So you put the shoelace around, and then you put the hairbrush through the string, and then you keep rotating it around, and then that tightens up, just like you do when you're doing a tourniquet in the field. You know, you wrap something around a leg, and then you get a stick and you twist it around until it's really tight, and it keeps the blood from coming out. That's just so brutal, you know. I mean, look at that, just that most incredible young woman and some psycho, you know. State police investigators told United Press International that it appeared she was sexually assaulted, although the body was so badly decomposed, officials performing an autopsy could not make such a determination. Morgan County Coroner James Summers also confirmed that identification was based on items found at the scene. The woman's body was discovered around 2:30 p.m. in Morgan County, about 4.5 miles from where her abandoned car was found on September 13th. The body was found in a cornfield on Country Road 700E, about 1/2 mile north of Egbert Road. All right, so I did find this area. It took me a while because there was a map. And so here is the, let me make sure I have roads on. Yeah, I've got roads on. So that's where the car was found. And then, so the person must have, let me get a different map. So let's go back in time to like 1998. There's a good one. And I'm going to turn off roads so you can actually see this. See, I think this person somehow drove this way, and then I don't know if there's a way to... Can you drive this way? Yeah, it looks like right here you could drive here and then take a left. So when her car was parked right here, somehow they got on there, drove this way, and then maybe got in this lane and then took this left and then got back on it and went this way with her, and her car was still there. So he said he was going to give her a ride, and everything seemed fine. See, that's what's freaky about this. Watch this. So she was heading towards this town right down here called Martinsville, right? That's where she was going to go to McDonald's and then go to the next town to go Bloomington to go to her college. So she's heading this way. This car pulls over and says, "Hey, I'll give you a ride into town. You can make a call." And for a moment, things seemed to be fine. Everything seemed fine. And then he probably pulled right in here and just boom. Now she's freaking out. At this moment, she knows something really bad's happening. And the car is driving this direction. And then right at this area right here, the road was mentioned. It was called County Road. Here it is, Egbert Road right there. So Egbert Road. Drove down like this. And then 700 East doesn't exist anymore that I could find, but I think it's this one, because if you look at this, this is 625, and this right here is 725. So I could easily see that that's almost halfway in between, that this would be 700 and that's 775. So this would be 700 right here, and the car drove up that direction. So what does it say? It says about a half mile north of Egbert Road. So let's see if that even works. Yeah, so a half mile's right at that curve right there on that one. None of these other ones, like this can't be 700 because it's the wrong direction of 625. And there's no other road, so this is the only one that makes sense. So they're saying it's right up in that area, which would be Williams Road, and I think they would have mentioned that. Although maybe that was 700. See, if that's Williams Road, maybe at one time this whole Williams Road was 700 East. Maybe if you guys want to, if you're really bored and you want to see what happened to 700 East, let me know. Because it said, this is the only one that made sense. So, and it turns out that that is a cornfield. So if you go right down to here and you look in, I mean, that's exactly what this is right here, a cornfield, and that's where she was found. So I'm thinking that we're pretty much in the right place here. The woman's body was discovered around 2:30 p.m. in Morgan County, about 4.5 miles from where her abandoned car was found. The body was found in a cornfield on County Road 700E, about 1/2 mile north of Egbert Road. County Road 700E is about 3.5 miles east of State Route. Well, there you go. Let's try that. Because I'm not even sure you can measure that much. But probably right here when they took this exit off of here is when they started measuring. So I'm gonna remove that. So they're saying 3.5 miles from, yeah, well, maybe they did it from right there. Let's see. Oh, there's Egbert Road. So right there, boom, boom, and right now we're at 0.37, 0.89. Okay, that's 1.57, 2.31, and that is 3.4. So that is the road. Okay. Boom! Yeah, they said about 3.5 miles. So there you go. That's the road. And then they said it was, let's see, 1.5 mile from where the abandoned car was. Let's see. Morgan County, about 4.5 miles. So that means about a mile from here. Let me move that up here, get that back up to there. And what are we at? We're only at 3.77. That's what I was thinking. Earlier I had this in a different place. So probably about right in this area. This is where her car went down. Right there. Okay. So there we go. That's where her car was. Let me move this one because her car would be more down here. Right there. And then they said, how far? Well, a half mile from here. North of Egbert Road. So this is Egbert. And it said about a half mile. So let's just say maybe up in this area. Right there. So her body was actually found up there. And then if we take this and continue it, right there, the entire distance is 4.94, and they've said, oops. They said it's 5 miles from where her car was parked, so that's almost absolutely right on it. Okay, well there you go. So let's see if it's corn even right there. I could imagine back then that house wasn't there. So there you go, cornfield. And so there you go. She was picked up right where her car was, and look how close that is actually to that place where you could turn around right there. Wow. Oh yeah, so there you go. And it says yield there, so it looks like you can turn right into there. Yeah, that's what that is. Right there, a turn lane, so you can pull right over here, and then you can wait for traffic and then zip, turn around and go that way. Wow, that's wild. So her car was probably really near there. Yeah, well, either way, if it was up here or here, that's where the person would have turned around, then driven her body, or driven her, and then she probably was killed at this location. You know, with her purse scattered like that. Who knows? Maybe she tried to run, and he caught her. There was nobody out here. Like, none of these homes were there. You see how these are really nice? Those didn't exist in 1978. Let's see what it looked like in. I bet you that pond wasn't even there. I would bet money that, yeah, see that's, well, I'm not sure what that is. Kind of looks like the same shape, but a little different. Yeah, see that home wasn't there. And this is 98, so this is even 20 years later. So there is a home there. That could be a nice house. But look how, like, there's nothing there, hardly. And now there seems a lot of people, way more people around. But 98, some of these homes were there. But we're talking about 20 years prior, so that's 1985. Looks like maybe there's still some homes there, but again, this is 8 years before that. Alright, authorities said the woman was strangled by a tourniquet fashioned from a shoestring and hairbrush. The body was discovered by Morgan County farmer Lawrence Stafford, who was harvesting corn on his 200-acre farm. Stafford telephoned the Morgan County Sheriff's Department in Martinsville from his house. The body was discovered lying face up between two rows of corn. Police investigators Excuse me, I almost got hiccups. Police investigators said the woman's red t-shirt was pulled up around her neck and her jeans and underclothes shoved down around her ankles. Yeah, isn't that just classic right there, you guys? So her t-shirt was pulled up around her neck and her jeans and underclothes were shoved around her ankles. That's exactly what you always see and hear. They said comparisons with normal cases would indicate that she was raped and later strangled. The area where the body was found was isolated and the only homes were about a quarter mile away. So, see what I'm saying? Back then there was nobody there. Soon after the body was found, a state police chaplain was dispatched. Was dispatched to Cambridge City to inform Miss Harmeier's mother of the discovery of the body and to comfort her. At the Morgan County Sheriff's Department, State Trooper King told a cousin of Miss Harmeier about the discovery of the body and that identification was tentative. Authorities speculated that the individual who might have abducted Miss Harmeier after she left her disabled car followed the same route that police authorities used to get to the site. Well, of course. Miss Harmeier's disappearance produced major concern among residents of Cambridge City and Wayne County in eastern Indiana. Neighbors raised $18,000 in cash and pledges to be used in a publicity campaign to locate her and as a reward for information for anyone who might have abducted her. Posters were later distributed. Yeah, so they're going to go through the history. We already went through all that. And here's some pictures. This is actually kind of reminds you a little bit of Molly Tibbetts, you know. So you've got this place in the corn right there. And then here's some automobiles that pulled into the spot, law enforcement officials. Yeah, I think it's almost I'm going to do applesauce this time, though, you guys. I got to do my applesauce. Hey, and the dogs there's some dogs on the thing, so hold on. Just a second. Gotta get my applesauce. Oh, I got my anti-snoring. See if that works. Oh yeah, got my applesauce. I won't be able to crunch through the apple this time, unfortunately. But if you guys would like to help out the channel at the halfway mark here tonight to eat through that apple and check out the funny Chloe and Blue, well, then there you go. This is my mukbang session right now. Oh yeah. Helps out the channel and the charities at the end of the month. That's the only way we can keep going and kick the ass of sending. I mean, last year was so crazy to have donated $42,000 out of the income from the channel because of the generosity of the freaks. There you go. So here we go. Either that or we could just... Oh, look at that. Another case close to home. Yeah, I'm going to look at that other one too, Living It. Hey, thank you. Living It and Tamara. Not today, but tomorrow. Oh man. There we go. There we go. I noticed that applesauce makes my stomach feel a lot better in the evenings before I go to sleep. Well, where are they? They're behind the apple. That's the... Oh, look at that. There's Mag. We'll do a 2-biter for that one. Man, wouldn't it be... I almost wish it was somebody that saw her in the paper and tracked her down. Other than she's just got a tire and there's so many monsters driving around that one just happened to be driving by while she was standing there. Thank you, Sandra Halford. There you go. Oh, there goes the stomach. I don't know. Pectin messes my stomach up. I think. No, maybe it's not pectin. What's in wine? Oh, tannins. That screws me up. I used to love wine, like a red wine or something, but then all of a sudden it makes my stomach buzzy. It like starts buzzing. It's weird. Thanks, Cindy Liam. Crisscross applesauce. No, it's just regular. No worries, Mike. Good day, mate. You got E9000. That's me eye score, mate. I got E9000, mate. That was better because I said mate right. I got E9000, mate. That's me eye score. Of course, it was kind of a. It was pretty good. It was pretty good, Zozo. Come on, be honest. Thank you, Charisma. You know that was pretty good. Well, you can almost see blue. Oh, look at that. For the pups. Not me, though. There we go. Pectin is good. Well, you can get that in jam, right? You put pectin in jam. Hey. Thank you. Ant-like. Your ant-like? Must be tiny. And there you go. There's Blue and Chloe. You freed up the full video of them just sitting there looking around. Oh yeah? Well no, but you know when you make jam you actually put pectin in the jam. You know, you have the little packets that you put in there. Does anybody remember who named Chloe? Because it was a community post. And I remember the second I saw the name, I go, oh, that's it. It was just like, it was pretty cool. I don't remember who did that, though. Chloe. See, Blue's thinking that there's food being made for one of them. So he's just waiting. See how he's really interested in the sound, but he's a little bit bummed that she's not up yet, because it's going to be her eating, and then he gets to come in and clean things up. Yeah, we were thinking of getting another one, actually. Another little dog. But we got so lucky with these, we wouldn't want to bring one in and have it ruin the chemistry. Hey, thank you, Free Bird Forever. Look at, look how, see how he's just really looking over there, smelling, waiting, hoping. It's smelling, waiting, hoping. Smelling, waiting, hoping. Like Captain Kirk, you know. Hey, good night. This account. It's this account. There you go, right? That's when you call in. It's this account. Oh boy, here we go, right? What I need on a mug? I think I'm gonna like do a whole new, get rid of all my merch except We Are Freaks and maybe the Nefarious. Oh, Blue. No, you gotta wait, Blue. See, he knows that. And she runs over there to maybe get hers, and he was like, oh, wait. And look at him. Look at him. Oh, God. Poor Blue. No, see, when you give Blue a bite of something, he almost bites your finger off. All right, let me see what. Did you see how, like, she grabbed it and then just dropped it? Like, she didn't try to eat it? Blue, though. He's going to town over there. Oogla Boogla mug. I thought I had one of those. Didn't I make Oogla Boogla mugs? Oh, yeah. Those things actually that I just gave them look like something you could eat yourself. Like literally cook it up, maybe put a little ketchup on it. Well, maybe not ketchup. It's a bit more like jerky. Oh yeah, cool. Oogla Boogla. Well, there they go. I think that was a good time to... Anyways, thank you guys very much for supporting the channel, playing that the Apple game. It's not really a game, but it's like a get to the dog and the Chloe and Blue video. Good boy, Blue. Yep, I was talking to you, yeah. All right, so here, this is where we were at. And at this point, we're right here in the cornfield over there. Body believed IU co-ed found. So this is what I originally used right here. This map. I mean, if you can believe that. But as you can see, it goes up. It says 2 miles and then 5. So almost the way they wrote it there almost seems like 7. But there's 700 east, but I don't think it's called 700 east anymore. And then they have her body right here. It almost seems like the way that's made is that it is, you know, it's not the greatest map because the way they draw it, it looks like it's like that. But I think it's got to be where I have it here. And because that's 625 and then 775, and we just did everything. Everything worked. 3.4 miles to here, 1.5 miles that way, and then 5 miles total. And everything, it worked perfectly. Thanks, Linda Howell, as in Linda Linda Molden Howe of the Cattle Mutilations and Corrupt Circles.
Dog.
Dog. Okay. So here we go. The body of murdered young woman found Tuesday afternoon in a cornfield near Martinsville has been identified tentatively as that of Indiana University student Ann Harmeier. The clothing found on the body matched that which Harmeier, 20, of Cambridge City, was wearing when last seen alive on September 12th. A purse with a bank book containing Miss Harmeier's name was found near the body, according to Morgan County Coroner Jim Summers. Her checkbook also was found with other contents of her purse which had been emptied on the ground. It has not been learned if she was carrying any cash when she disappeared. State police said it appeared the woman had been strangled, but efforts to determine the cause of death will be made during an autopsy to be performed by Dr. James Benz, an Indianapolis pathologist. Soon after the body was found, state police dispatched a chaplain to Cambridge City to inform Miss Harmeier's mother, Marjorie Harmeier, of the discovery and to comfort the woman, I'm sure. The woman who has been extremely distraught since her daughter disappeared. And then the body was found at 2:35 p.m. Tuesday, about 7 miles northeast of Martinsville, or about 5 miles northeast of where Miss Harmeier's car was found, abandoned on Indiana 37. Lawrence Stafford of 40 Rural Route 4 of Martinsville spotted the body from a picker as he was harvesting corn on his farm. Lawrence Stafford. Let's see. Let's just see if he randomly shows up in there. Because usually farms stay around in the family for a while. Lawrence Stafford. And we'll do probably not alive anymore, I would imagine. And that would have been in Martinsville, Indiana. He's probably going to be like 90 something. No, that's only one of them. REA, maybe that's a child. Let's see. If it ends up with the, so he was 40 at the time, so he would be, shoot, what about 80 something, 83? addresses. Well, let's see what this one, where this one puts it. I don't think this is the right one. Wow, it's very close though. Wonder if that was a relative of some sort. Because the name was close. Nope. Doesn't exist. Fortunately. Doesn't seem like Indiana had as good a records as other places for that kind of stuff. The body was about 870 feet east of Morgan County Road 700. And 10 feet from a sod waterway in the cornfield. Wow, so 870 feet east of Morgan County Road. How long is that? That's pretty... That's okay, so that's 800... That's 870 feet from right there. So I think what they're saying is it's like 870 feet in the middle. I mean, that's a huge... That's 300 yards. Interesting. Yeah, this article is very precise right here. The body was about 870 feet east of Morgan County Road. Let me see if I can type that in. Morgan County Road. See? Look at that. There's 625. That's going to be right over here. And 700 doesn't exist anymore. That's not it. I guess there is a county road 700, but that's not in the same spot. 625. And then 775 is right over here. So I think this road was changed from County Road 700 to Williams Road. That's what I think. And if you could find that, how about this? If you find that in newspapers.com or something that says that Williams Road was switched to 700, then I'll send you a We Are Freaks mug. How do you like that? But don't leave the show to go watch it. To go find it out. The body was about 870 feet east of Morgan County Road 700 East and 10 feet from a sod waterway. Sod waterway in a cornfield. It was face up between two rows of corn, and investigators said all the clothing was on the body, but that a red t-shirt Miss Harmeier had been wearing was pulled up. The brassiere torn, and blue denim trouser and underclothing pulled down to the ankles. Man, this is just a monster in there. Other evidence included a necklace with a small cross on it and a POW bracelet. The latter was a type worn by many persons during the war in Vietnam to remind Americans of servicemen held prisoner of war. It is believed the slayer may have driven a car from the county road into the cornfield by using the sod waterway, as did police vehicles on Tuesday afternoon. Let's see if we can see that. What is a sod waterway? So what time of year was this? So September. Yeah, that's when this is. wonder if it's right there, this thing. You know, that kind of makes sense to me. And then look at that, almost matches the 870 feet into there. I'm going to do that. Right like that. And what's the distance on that? 4.98 miles. I said it's 5. I think that that seems pretty good right there. What do you think? Because that's even there in 98. And it looks like, you know, just squinting your eyes, it's there in 85. And by the way, she was found in Morgan County. Right there. It's face up between two rows. Okay, other evidence included a necklace. We got that. It is believed the slayer may have driven a car from the county road into the cornfield by using the sod waterway, as did police vehicles on Tuesday afternoon. Stafford said his children often use the sod waterway in riding their small motorcycles, and that one of his sons did so Monday. He said the son, Jim, 12, did not notice anything unusual. Another son, Mike, 15, a Martinsville high school pupil, also had ridden there recently. Stafford also had 2 daughters, Donna, 18, a freshman at Ball State University, and Karen, 14. He and his family have lived on the 200-acre farm 7.5 years. It is believed the person who might have abducted Miss Harmeier after she left her disabled car along Indiana 37 drove north from there to Egbert Road, east to County Road 700 east, and then north to the cornfield. Although the cornfield lines all the way up 700 east. The search for Mrs. Harmeier began early September 13th after she failed to telephone her minister and friend, the Reverend Rose C. Tall of the Presbyterian Church. Miss Harmeier was scheduled to telephone the minister the night of September 12th to inquire about the medical tests the latter was receiving because of an illness. The Reverend Miss Tall and the co-ed's mother, a widow, and Cambridge City schoolteacher traveled to Bloomington and found that Miss Harmeier had not returned to her campus apartment and had failed to report as a member of a stage crew during a rehearsal of an Indiana University play. Miss Harmeier was a junior majoring in drama who maintained a grade average 3.7 out of a possible 4. And here is a picture of that area after they've driven onto that waterway. So that's the vehicle. So I do think that that's probably it. Let's see what that looks like from the street view again. It's amazing they actually went on to that, by the way. So that's not there, but look at how there is a water source right there. And it used to look different. So they may have switched that up, but if you look at it back in, that's weird. It actually doesn't work anymore, the map. Or maybe it was a different one that we were looking at. It was like 2005. See how different that is there? The waterway? I think that's definitely it. It makes all the sense in the world. Nothing else quite looks like that from the road to have known to do that. And then it looks like later on it just sort of went away. It's not there anymore. They got rid of it, that waterway. But see how it's there in all these other shots? It's there in this one. Can't see that with clouds. Look at that one's really, you can really see it in that one. I think it was just something that they quit using after a while. Maybe, well, obviously it was used for years, but see, now it's not there at all. See? And it's not even there in any seasons anymore. It's just not used. It's gone. So definitely was something that was there back then. And it actually makes sense because it's exactly that 800 and whatever feet that they were talking about. 870 feet-ish. Lawrence said the farmer who found a young woman's body, that's the farmer right there, in his cornfield, walks away from the scene near Martinsville. As state police gather evidence, Ann Louise Harmeier of Cambridge City has been missing since her car was found abandoned only about 4 miles from this location. Yeah, it's more like 5. Search begins for the co-ed killer. Authorities studied files on known sex offenders. The discovery ended a 5-week search for Ann Louise Harmeier, a 20-year-old drama major. The body was found Tuesday a few miles from where her abandoned auto was discovered. Miss Harmeier was positively identified Wednesday after an autopsy and study of dental charts. The autopsy, which took 5 hours because of body was decomposed, indicated Miss Harmeier had been sexually assaulted, Aguilar said, adding that medical proof of that was impossible because of decomposition. He said the young woman's sweater had been ripped off, her bra torn away, and her jeans and underwear pulled down around her ankle. The body was found lying face up between 2 rows of corn. The Indiana Star reported this morning a man was being held in Texas somewhere after a map of Martinsville, Indiana was found in his possession. Miss Harmeier's abandoned car as well as the body were found near Martinsville. The Star said police reportedly have some evidence found at the murder scene that could lead to a man in Texas. The suspect was not named, and the Star said Indiana authorities declined to comment on the report. Drifter, strong suspect. Now look at that. It's from my neck of the woods here. Look at this. State police said yesterday that a drifter held in El Paso, Texas jail is a strong suspect in the murder of Indiana University student. I thought at least one of these articles had somebody from my area. Miss Harmeier, 20, a UI theater student, was found strangled to death. The drifter, there it is, Joseph Mazer, 23, of Portland, Oregon, is away. Wow, from Portland, everybody! I'm so close to the case now. Yeah. The drifter, Joseph Mazer, 23, Portland, Oregon, is awaiting extradition to Ohio for the slaying of Deborah Ann Harmeier. Oh, no, it's another person. Deborah Ann. That's crazy. Deborah Ann Mayer, 18. To which he has confessed to that one. Miss Mayer's body was found last month in a park near Cambridge, Ohio. Mazer was arrested September 23rd in Sierra Blanca, Texas. A routine roadblock. He was driving Miss Mayer's car, a green Pinto. Man, we had one of those. They suck. State Police Major Stanley N. Kenny said yesterday he was waiting FBI analysis of the car and laboratory reports on other materials, including a couple of magazines found near Miss Harmeier's body. It is much too early to say if we can link Mazer to Miss Harmeier's death, Sergeant Gene Gastineau of the Bloomington State Police post said. It may be another week before we have reports from the lab. In the meantime, we have to check on the leads we have, and none of them mention a green Pinto. So anyways, that's somebody that they were looking at. Friends and family say goodbye to Ann Harmeier, so that they have a funeral. So these are probably classmates, friends. Grief-stricken friends stand silent in the little cemetery, reflecting on Ann's life and its tragic end in a farm field. The Reverend Rose C. Tall commends Ann to God's care, was slain, girl's minister and friend. So that's the... I guess this lady right here was her friend. After the service in the little church on a tree-shaded sheet in this quiet eastern Indiana town, a procession almost a mile long followed Ann to the cemetery 3 miles south of here, where the Reverend Miss Tall, in a quivering voice, commended Ann into God's care and thanked him for her life. Ann's mother, her face showing grief, was composed. She has known much grief before. Her husband, Robert Louis Harmeier, died in 1962 after suffering cancer. After the service, the Reverend Miss Tall expressed hopes that Ann's slayer soon will be caught. I don't want to be vengeful, she said. I just want him put away so we can't do this to somebody else. And then right here it looks like the mother wrote something in the like a letter to the editor here. Yeah, we always have these ones that are like, you know, Susan Ann June. I think there's just a lot of people that have those kind of middle names with Ann and stuff like that in that part of the country. On behalf of ourselves and the citizens of Cambridge City, we would like to thank the Palladium item for its coverage concerning Ann Harmeier. Richard Holden, Martha Elliott, Sitsi Sardwari, and Dick Reynolds are to be commended for their most sensitive reporting and personal interest. Many citizens of Richmond and other Wayne County communities supported us in our search for Ann and then grieved with us when we learned her tragic fate. Thank you for your words of encouragement, your letters and cards, your prayers, your willingness to distribute posters, and your contributions to search and a reward fund. We also thank the Richmond Symphony Orchestra. I even knew it was symphony, but I couldn't say it for some reason because I saw orchestra there already. And chorus for their beautiful tribute to Ann on November 6th. We will continue our search for the killer. We deplore this kind of act to prevent tragedies of this nature from happening so often. We plan to charter a foundation called Citizens Against Violence. Communities must unite in genuine love and concern to combat the kind of sickness which destroyed Ann. Thank you for your help. God bless you. Mrs. Robert Harmeier, and also Reverend Rose Tall, Cambridge City. Harmeier investigators stymied. Let's see. Yeah, so that Mazur returned to Ohio from El Paso, Texas, where he was arrested on drug charge while driving a Pennsylvania woman's car. His attorney told him not to talk to us. So that one, they just don't have any more information right then. Then we're moving about 5 months later in 1978. No evidence. Teen was Ann Harmeier's slayer, police said. So there's another person here. A Mooresville teenager arrested on charges of confining a stranded woman motorist in Indiana On Indiana 37, passed lie detectors questioning Friday about the Ann Harmeier slaying. Morgan County Sheriff Paul Mason said Indiana State Police experts gave polygraph test to Roy Lee Minton Jr., 19, and it showed he had no knowledge of the Ann. Wow, I don't know about that. Let me look this one up. Hold on a second. I don't. Whenever you say somebody passed a polygraph test, I do not care at all. I don't even care if you say that he didn't pass it. It doesn't mean anything. Do you guys care? I mean, it's like when they say, well, he passed a polygraph test. Good night. So he was 19 and 78, so that'd be 44 plus 19, 59, 63 years old. Yeah, he's not in there either. Man, this is crazy. Okay, that's him. Yep. Let's see what the deal is here. I found him. Let's go to his criminal. And resistant law enforcement, battery, non-support parent. Man, it sounds a lot like one of the YouTubers out there. False reporting, battery. Yeah, he lives in Martinsville right now. That guy. Wow. That person lives right there. What a perfect place to do what he, if he's related to that. Yeah, let me check out this other guy. His relative. I think that's his dad. He might have lived there at that time because he'd been 18. Yeah, he lived there too. Interesting. So, the dad lived right here. I guess, you know, it is Martinsville. And it's only like, you know, what, 5 miles to where that car was. That's pretty interesting. I wonder if that's somebody they just kind of gave up on a little too quick. They might want to check that guy out again. What do you guys think of that? I mean, that is a crazy coincidence. Because it says right here, said Indiana State Police experts gave a polygraph test. So, a Motorsville teenager arrested on charges of confining a stranded woman. So there's a stranded woman. The same damn thing on the same highway. And he lives in the same damn little town there. And he confined her somehow. Man. Minton surrendered Monday on charges of criminal confinement and battery and later pleaded innocent. A 19-year-old Franklin college student, another college student, told authorities, listen to this, her car broke down on Indiana 37 northeast of Martinsville. Same exact place. And a young man stopped and offered her a ride. Wow, holy shit. Holy crap. This is exactly the scenario that I said to you guys. I said that the person offered to give her a ride to make a call or, you know, to help get her car fixed. Look at this thing. Listen to this. A 19-year-old Franklin college student told authorities her car broke down on Indiana 37 northeast of Martinsville. Okay, well, there's Martinsville. That's northeast. That's where Ann's car was parked. This is ridiculous right here. This guy. So the college student told authorities her car broke down on Indiana 37 northeast of Martinsville, and a young man stopped and offered her a ride to a service station. Instead, she said, he drove down a small lane and she jumped from his car and fled. That sounds like he was doing exactly the same thing. Minton turned himself in to authorities later that day. Well, yeah, because she got away from you. Ms. Harmeier, 20, an Indiana University student from Cambridge City, disappeared last September 12th after her car broke down on Indiana 37 near Martinsville. Her body was found more than a month later in a nearby cornfield. She had been strangled and raped. He is not a suspect because the polygraph test indicates that he has no knowledge of Harmeier's murder. That's ridiculous. God, I mean, that is insane that you guys are saying that. Well, the polygraph test. Forget it, man. I know it's exactly the same place where her car broke down. I know. He pulls up, offers her a ride, and then, without her knowledge, drives her down a lane. And I know in that case he killed her, but in this one she got away. But they're just definitely not related because of the polygraph test. I would actually, right this second, I'd throw him way up on that list. I mean, I know he's young. That's a really young age to be doing that. But what was he going to do to that girl? What was he going to do to that girl if she hadn't escaped? I gotta look this one up. Newspapers.com. This guy is Roy Lee Minton. Roy Lee Minton Jr. This is 1970, just 8 now. Yeah, 1978, Indiana. God, that's shocking. I mean, it's unbelievable because I know it was just my theory of how it got played out there, but that guy did exactly what the theory was. Okay. So here's one that when they're not comparing anything, it's just... Alright. Oh, man. So he lives in Mooresville at that time, so let's see where that is. But his dad must have lived in Martinsville. So let's see. They give an address. He lives at 416 Hobson Drive, Mooresville, Indiana. Oh, well, shit, that's even worse. I mean, that's like almost the same distance. And this one's on his way home. So that makes it even more like it's him, because he goes here, turns around, drives up this way to take her here, and then he can continue on back to where he lives. Yeah, I'm going to put him in there. He lived right there. Yeah, his age is a little bit weird, but he was trying it at 19, right? Roy Lee Minton Jr. What's going on here? How come I can't? Yep, that was the one. That's crazy. Alright, so what it says here is Hobson Drive pleaded not guilty to charge of criminal confinement and battery during an arraignment before Judge Philip Smith. Yesterday's reporter, the newspaper, indicated Minton had been surrendered to sheriff's department by his father, but today his father said he only accompanied the youth. The hearing was set for April 24th, and the trial will... What about his dad, though? How old was his dad back then? Trial will begin May 30th. Hold on. Now that's him. Okay, his dad died at the age of 76 in 2004. So in 2004, at 76, he would have been 40 at the time. And he's got criminal history. Guilty. He pled guilty. That was for speeding. Not provided by source. Yeah, wouldn't that be interesting? I mean, now that they mentioned the dad, you know, but, you know, allegedly, just kind of theorizing here. A lot of times you get these weirdos in the family. Alright. So charges were made after 19-year-old Worthington girl whose car had stalled on SR 37 was offered assistance to a gasoline station, but driven to a county road instead. Well, that's exactly where Ann was driven to. Well, you can't, because you're not a... You can only... I don't think anybody but moderator... What would the link be about, Living It? I'm just going over the case, so let me just keep going through it. Sheriff Paul Mason told the reporter that he had questioned Minton on Monday in regards to the slaying of Indiana University co-ed Ann Harmeier in September 1977. Ms. Harmeier's car was also stalled on SR 37, and her body turned up in a cornfield. Mason said he feels there's no connection. You feel that way? You feel it? Yeah, I don't really want you to put that in there. I just was looking at it myself. Didn't seem related. Alright, so this one says Smith has been dissolved, the marriage of... Oh, what year was that? 78, he got divorced, looks like. Pretty young to be married. Heirs motion to be filed in jury convict. Yeah, I was saying all those. He had battery, resisting law enforcement. Yeah. Yeah. Nope, I said all those. Remember, I said a minute ago he's like one of the YouTubers out there. He has a lot of the same charges that one of our favorite YouTubers has. Yeah. So anyways, a Morgan County Superior Court jury returned yesterday afternoon at 4:30 with a verdict of guilty and assault and battery and intimidation in an attack against Judy Yount, in the hospital parking lot in February. Wait, is this a different case? Like, wait, in Morgan County? Wait, so when did this happen? Let me go back. Let me go to 78 again. Yeah, this was April 1978. Wow. Don't tell me this is another victim here. I mean, this is crazy. Hold on a second. This is June 28, 1979. This morning, attorneys gave final arguments to a jury of 7 women and 5 men in Morgan Superior Court, and there was a brief flare-up between the attorneys themselves. Prosecutor Tom Gray tried the state's case against Roy Lee Minton, 20, of Mooresville, who was charged with assault and battery, intimidation, and criminal confinement of Judy Yount of Turkey Track Road in the hospital parking lot in February of 1979. This is a different case here. This is a different one. So he has a history now. Criminal confinement. He was trying to get somebody else. Judy Yount of Turkey Track Road in the hospital parking lot of February. The jury got the case this morning. In his final argument, Gray said that defense attorney John Boren had been orchestrating his witnesses, and Boren thought Gray was implying that he had told the witnesses what to say. Gray concentrated on Miss Yount's testimony and on the word alibi. He said any person accused of a crime would try to alibi himself, and he questioned a clock in the home of Minton's sister, Mrs. David Weddle, 755 South Colfax Street. The Weddles testified yesterday that Minton arrived at their home at 11:05 on the night Miss Yount was attacked, which would have been home before the incident occurred. Boren hit hard on reasonable doubt and mistaken identity. Yesterday afternoon, Maxine Edgerton testified for the defense. She said Minton's mustache was visible when he was jailed, and that he had 2-day growth of beard. She described his hair as being 1 inch below his ears. Minton's close friend, Alan Perry, 19, of Mooresville, now a truck driver in the U.S. Army, spoke of a wreck in the forestry in the same week which knocked out a headlight and damaged the front end of Minton's car. Miss Yount's earlier testimony shows she clocked out of the hospital at 11:04. She figured it would take a couple of minutes to get to her car and a couple to come to get settled in before her assailant arrived. She also estimated his attack on her as taking about 5 minutes. She later identified Minton in a photograph lineup and picked his car out of a parking lot as being the one which her attacker drove. Man, isn't that crazy, you guys? That's another attack. Anyways, thanks for sending that, Living It. But I already had said all those things on the show. I don't want people to look at it. You know, I'm not going to show it on the screen, his arrest record. You know, but I already was saying that, you know, he has a lot of the same charges, failure to pay child support, and these are really concerning here. Yesterday, a reporter indicated Minton had been surrendered to the sheriff. That's 78. Okay, so let me go back to 79. Well, he doesn't have a ton of, you know, his arrest record isn't massive or anything. But these things here are crazy. Alright, that's the one I was looking at. So a Morgan County Superior Court jury returned yesterday afternoon at 4:30 with a verdict of guilty of assault and battery and intimidation in an attack against Judy Yount in the hospital parking lot in February for Roy Lee Minton Jr. He was found not guilty of criminal confinement. I wonder how you got off of that one. Of the young woman, who is a lab technician at the Morgan County Memorial Hospital. However, after the jury had been dismissed, some of the members told defense attorney John Boren that a photograph of Minton with information about a previous arrest on similar charges, oh boy, that was the one that we were just talking about, was a determining factor. Oh boy. Well, that's going to be a mistrial. You can't bring up those previous deals. Oh man. Information about a previous arrest on similar charges was a determining factor. He was told the jury was 9-3 for acquittal. Then an early vote was taken after the jury got the case yesterday morning. Boren said it was a fundamental error and that he will file a motion to correct errors as soon as possible with Judge James Harris. He is hopeful a new trial will be granted for the two charges for which the jury decided guilt. Oh boy, that sucks, man. But it looks like they were going to acquit him. They were believing his family's time frame. Ridiculous. Let's see what this is. Minton seeks reversal over his own error. Roy Minton Jr. of Mooresville will have another appearance in Morgan Superior Court this month. I'm just going on a total tangent on this guy right now. A jury convicted him of assaulting a young woman on the Morgan County Memorial Hospital lot last winter. However, it turned out that the defense itself had introduced evidence suggesting that Minton was charged with another sex offense. Minton's lawyer, John Boren, polled the jury and learned that they'd been 11-1 for acquittal until they saw reference to another offense on evidence submitted by Boren. Then they voted to find Minton guilty. He contends that the jury should not have given weight to Minton's possible complicity in another episode. Judge James Harris has set September 10th as the day to argue the motion. I bet you he got off on that. And right now, let's see, what are we at here? We are at about 80% of a normal night. We always have these long lulls where the energy just goes. It sounds like this in my head, watch. Although this is really interesting. So here we go. A jury was not seated in the state's case against Roy Lee Minton Jr., Mooresville. Oh, so they're going to do another trial on this guy. Well, let's see what happens. April, May. Minton case will probably go to the jury today. Minton is charged with intimidation and assault of a young woman in the local hospital parking lot, so that's the same case. This is the retrial of it. May 14th. Here, let's type in May 1980 and then 15th. There we go. Minton freed of hospital assault charge. There you go. Nothing. It took an Owen Circuit Court jury only 3 hours yesterday afternoon to clear Roy Minton. Minton had been retired on a charge of intimidation and assault against a young Martinsville woman. She had been attacked in the Morgan County Memorial Hospital parking lot. A Morgan Superior Court jury had found him guilty, but he got a new trial because his own lawyer, John Boren, had inadvertently, wow, his own lawyer did that, admitted evidence. Another Morgan County jury had freed him of still another assault charge. He had been accused of attempting to molest a college co-ed whose car had broken down on State Road 37. This guy, I think he got away with a lot of shit. And man, I would not have thrown that guy out of suspicion at all. Man, let me see if he shows up anymore. In 1981. Right, another trial? A Mooresville man lost his bid in the Indiana Court of Appeals yesterday for a new trial on charge of battery. So that one still stood, but it was on the other charges. Okay. What's this one? There's some kind of a default judgment of $500 granted Roy Lee Minton Jr. against Cheryl Lynn Fox regarding charge of perjury. Wait, was that the girl that, what the hell is that about? This is 1989 though, so this is way after all that. Man. Against Cheryl Lynn Fox, Martinsville. Recharge of perjury. What the hell is that about? That was 1989. Here's a 1988. Minton gets 8 years for violating probation. Hey, it sounds a lot like that YouTuber again. Roy Minton Jr., 36, 540 West Harrison Street, was given an additional 2-year term with the Indiana Department of Corrections Monday. Wow, it's even the same state. Weird. By Morgan Superior Court Judge G. Thomas Gray for violating his probation by child molestation. Whoa. Minton was sentenced to 8 years with DOC after committing battery causing bodily injury to Ed Haymaker in 1984. Hold on. Man, this guy... Does anybody think this guy isn't capable at this point? On May 11th, Minton was sentenced to serve 5 years with DOC for child molestation, plus 180 days for false informing, and 1 year each for 2 counts of contributing to the delinquency of a minor. He was ordered to serve his sentences concurrently. The charges were filed after a 14-year-old girl ran away with Minton. I figured that's what that was. It was more of a case like that. The 2-year additional term is consecutive. Man, this guy is absolutely crazy. So let's see what's going on between, let's see, 1985 to 1990. Well, no, we already had that. How about 1990 to 2000? Police runs. Roy Lee Martinsville sentenced to what? God, this guy is just... Got rearrested again right there in Martinsville. 2013. That's the probably that's Ruby Lehman. There's not really much in there anymore. Wow, that's absolutely crazy, guys. I think that person could have something to do with it. You know, this is one of the people that they suspected right here. Like with a guy with the last name of Judy. They still talk about this guy right here. Here's a picture of at the funeral there. And here's another picture of where she was found. I don't know, you guys. I would actually put, if I was them, I'd take another look back at that guy. That seems too coincidental to me. His age is a little bit weird, but, you know, so what? And here's the Timothy Judy guy that I was just talking about. See, down here it says, the primary crime Judy committed occurred when he was 23 years old. On Saturday, April 28, 1979, Terry Lee Chastain was on her way to drop her children off at a babysitter's house before going to work. While on the road, Judy passed her car, that's this guy right here, Judy, his last name, and gave her a sign that indicated that she needed to pull over. She eventually did and instantly accepted help from Judy. So this guy's similar again, who she thought was just being a good Samaritan. He told her that something was wrong with her tire and offered to fix it. While fixing her tire, he disabled her car and offered Terry and her 3 children a ride. He immediately drove them to White Lick Creek where the victims were found. Wow. Once at the creek, Judy directed the 3 children to a path, having them walk ahead of him and their mother. Terry, once the children were ahead of him, Judy raped Terry, tied her hands and feet and began choking her. Terry began screaming for help, and her children ran back up to them. They screamed and cried, and Judy raped her. Later that day, police officers discovered Terry and her 3 children, Misty 5, Stephen 4, and Mark 2-year-old. Evidence was found that Terry had died from being strangled while the children were drowned. Several witnesses eventually came forward to help police piece together. I mean, this guy's a monster too, right here. In the weeks before he was executed, Judy confessed to his foster mother, Mary Carr, that he had raped and murdered other women in multiple states. He told Carr that he had killed more women than he could recall. The first murder Judy confessed to were the 1973 slayings of 2 women in Louisiana, which occurred while he was staying in New Orleans. He also confessed to the November 1978 murder of Linda Unverzagaff or something, a disco dance instructor in Indianapolis. So now we're getting into Indiana. He confessed to another possible murder of a woman in Louisiana whom he kidnapped and raped. After raping her, he threw her into a swamp and did not know if she survived. There were 2 other possible murders he committed in Indianapolis. Judy raped 2 women in separate incidents. After raping one of the victims in 1978, he left her tied to a tree in a heavily wooded area and did not know if she survived the ordeal. Yeah, so this is a guy, this is another person that they've thought maybe it was related. And see right here, is it possible Stephen Judy killed Ann Harmeier? So this lady wrote this whole thing up, you know, that basically I just explained to you why. And then there's a couple articles that are more recent here. Who killed Indiana University student Ann Harmeier in 1977? It's a cold case Indiana State Police detectives are still trying to solve 43 years later. Ann Louise Harmeier, 20, was reported missing on September 12, 1977, after she failed to return to Indiana University Bloomington campus. She was a student. Police found her rust-colored Pontiac Le Mans about 2 miles north of Martinsville on the shoulder of State Road 37, according to state police. Her car was locked, emptied, and had faulty thermostat. Oh, thank you to this account on PayPal there. But, you know, this could just be one of those nights. We're about $40 short of the low end of a goal. But it's not, you know. We used to have nights where it was really bad a long time ago. And unfortunately, fortunately and unfortunately on this channel, that's part of the whole deal now, is we're trying to raise funds to help keep me being able to do what I'm doing, plus the charities that we're supporting. You know, last year we put $24,000 or so into the DNA fund, and that's what we're going to be building up really quick to fund a 4th case. We've got 3 already completely funded, and then we're going to build up funds to fund a 4th case, and hopefully it'll be for the Southern Oregon, for them down there in Southern Oregon. So I would say if we keep up a good pace, by the end of March we'll have that one completely covered as well. I would think we should be able to do it, you know, easily by the end of March, I would say, and actually give money to other charities too at the same time. But I don't have any more apples to go through. Yep, there you go. So that's actually a picture. Police located the body of missing Indiana University student Ann Harmeier on October 18th, 1977 in a cornfield near Martinsville, Indiana. Hey, thank you, Sir Rancelot. Yeah, it's a crazy story. I mean, this was a really long one, but I think it was kind of worth it. And see, that's why I don't like going through articles. I just see the headlines and so forth. But we just found that other character out of nowhere right there. And I think, man, if I was them, I'd definitely go back and look at that individual, because he was doing the same damn thing in the same area. He is pretty young. You know, we don't know what would have happened to the first girl that he took down that road, right? Search parties were organized across the state, thank you, living it, to help find Harmeier on September 27th, 1977. Please let us know where she is. That's what the mother said. The anniversary of the murder and sexual assault of Ann Harmeier, 20-year-old IU student, in September. That's a tweet. Not sure when that was, but if you have any information, call 812-332-4411 or 800-423-1286. Juvenile, that's something different. Okay, I think I've got one more link here. This was from September. This one had some pictures in it. You know, so that's what the sign looked like in color. And that's where I got some of these clear images. So that's where that note came from. And that's her right there, without the short hair that she had later. That hair right there, see. Yeah, so they must be really interested in this guy, for sure. I see why, you know. But if I was them, I'd look back at that other kid too, because he definitely had some. He was already doing the crap where a distressed motorist, he pulls over. He was already doing that just a year later, and he was 19, 18. He could have done the same thing. Yeah, I mean, basically, this just says all the stuff that we already knew. So, anyways, those links are in the description. And I think that's about it, you guys, for the night. I appreciate you guys all being here and supporting the channel. And, you know, if you feel like it, maybe become a channel member. If you're not a channel member already, Sir Ancelot. And, yeah, you get rid of the gray name that's on, that your name is, the color of it. Even though, what's wrong with being gray, right? Yes. All right, so thank you to Plato, Eugenie, Patricia Cross. I mean, I hope you guys like when we do these longer ones like this, even though it's not really, you know, it's not the cool, sensationalistic, the big story that everybody's talking about. I always find that these ones they're really interesting. You know, we got to learn about who she was, how people were searching, you know, where she was found. Probably, you know, we figured out like how it probably went down. The person would have turned at that turn and then went back up. We found out the likely location where she was. We found another suspect that they sort of discounted that, wow, I mean, he seems like he could really have been part of it. And another suspect with the last name of Judy. Yeah, it's still unsolved. And if they had found her 3 weeks earlier, there might have been some DNA, but back in '77, they weren't really looking to collect all that anyways. All right. So thank you to Eugenie, or Plato, Eugenie, Patricia Cross, Cindy Leon, Cheyenne R, and Jay Case with the cat eye, Zozo, Cindy Leon, Kathy Freidenmaker, and thanks Zozo for getting that wave started for me there. And Cindy Leon, Kathy Freidenmaker, Lee D, Eugenie. Let's see. And then, oh, this account sent in she put PayPal on the members chat thing that you can type in. Tawny Lee, TTJO Tracy, Your Gypsy, Sherlock Hemlock, Delva Johnson, Linda Howell, as in Linda Molden Howell, the Cattle Mutilations in Crop Circles, Lisa Holland, Courtney Robb, Ink Twin 9, The Lady is a Tramp, Tamara, not today, Cheyenne R, Living It, as in Living the Dream, Tamara, as in not today, Mag, Sandra Halford, and then Cindy Leon, Charisma, Mary Glaviano, Ant-like, Freebird Forever, Linda Howell, Sir Rancelot, and Living It, and Lane Dune, it looks like, right at the end there. Or Laney Dune. Is it Laney? Yeah, Laney, right? Or is the first one? Okay, 1 Laney or 2 Lane. I think I used to say it right. Anyway, I always feel like I'm in my wheelhouse, my zone when we're doing those kinds like that, and the current sort of mega cases that are going on. Like, we're pretty good at those. Anyways, thank you guys all for helping out. And Dan Carr sent me that cool map. It verified that we had the right railroad tracks. So that was cool. Anyways, thank you guys very much. I appreciate it. And we will see you guys tomorrow, all right? I'm not going to do the rap session. Okay, so Lane, right? Now I don't remember what 1 and 2 was now. Oh my god. Maybe type it in phonetically. Thanks, Gray and Freaks, as always. Great show. Well, thank you. Living it, as in living the dream. Yeah, probably going to be doing CrimeCon this year, so we'll have to, we'll get y'all squared away on when that is. There might be streaming options or whatever the hell it is, but it'll be fun. Yep. I'm waiting for Lane. I don't remember which one it was. You guys remember if I said Laney or Lane? Lane was 2 or the other way around? Yeah, a little dementia setting in. I can't remember. Nothing? Alright, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And, as I always say, everybody, until next time, be safe out there. That was Lane. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Paulette Leonard. Good night, Mag.
Yeah, good night, everybody.
I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a... I got it.
Crime
Lane.
dissector.
Lane dude.
Flag rejector. I'm a certified
that
human
name.
lie detector.
That's a cool name.
Gonna get ya.
Lane dude.
On a stretcher. If you try and play me like an old projector.
Alright, Lane.
Crime sector. Here's my nectar.
Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture.
Crime
Laney.
collector. Freak connector.
Laney Doon, Laney Doon.
No, it's not Laney Doon. Lane Doon. She just told you.
Okay, sorry, Ray J.
With a vector.
Lane Doon, Lane Doon.
With all respect, y'all. Just remember I've attempted to conjecture. I have no agenda. I'm a pretender. And I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender.
Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. Alright, everybody? Alright, everybody. Thank you very much.
Okay, everybody, see you.
I already said that. Why are you saying it now?
Because I wanted to say it, Gray.
Well, I didn't want you to say it right now.
But I wanted to say it myself. Good night, everybody.
Oh my god. Have another cup of coffee. Mary Lou. Alright? Alright, everybody. See you tomorrow. And be safe out there. I might do another one's related to that, by the way. Because I found a couple that were around the same time frame that were unsolved, and they just kind of popped up. So we might have to check those ones out as well. Rabbit Hole Central. Bye-bye.